Hey, we're back. I've been trying to come up with a little jingle or something. Maybe like the songbook stories time. I don't know. I'll try to come up with something clever. I'm not always good at that. Anyway, welcome back to Songbook Stories. It's been a while. I've been busy. I've had a lot on my mind. But without further ado, I have a story from my friend Adam, of course. Him and I used to go on a little loop. I got Red Cross playing here. Turn it down a little bit. Him and I used to go out. After school, he'd be waiting for me at my house in high school. And we would just go around and raise hell in Kissimmee and St. Cloud and hit up all the pawn shops and thrift stores and music stores and see what was going on. And sometimes we would travel further out, like we went out to Groove Tube on A1A in Melbourne quite a few times, shopping for punk stuff once we figured out they sold Fat and Epitaph there. And a place that's no longer there up in Orlando used to be Wax Tree Records. It used to be way up on Cimarron, but we used to trek up there and we'd be browsing the records and well, not records so much back then. I mean, I did, but I was mainly looking for CDs and cassettes. And we would be browsing. I'd be, rummaging through something over here, and Adam would be over here shopping. And he would always get me. I couldn't tell you how many times he got me with it, but I definitely have memories from Wax Tree Records of him being like, "Aha!" And I, would, "Aha!" But he would get me every freaking time. We'd be out shopping. He'd find the aha and be like, "Aha!" Funny. This guy, Adam Williams. So that's this is my only piece of aha. There's Adam in the background of my old band practice, throwing up the horns. He was just hanging, being a loyal punker. Now, after that comes some country band called Alabama. Ever heard of them? I'm just gonna run through my little collection that I've amassed since I've been hunting. And this one, it's quite a bit of Alabama. But they, I can't really say that I listened all that much Alabama or ever have. I do know their big hits and everything though. They, mountain music, of course, everybody knows. Play me some mountain music. Tennessee River. Yeah, I'd have to hear these others. I'm sure I would recognize some of their hits if I heard them anyway. And then there's another guy named Jason Aldean. I've got my collections alphabetized, so if it's a person's name, it goes under their last name. So that I've got my country section out in the hall right here, so I gotta be mindful that was the first bit of it, so I gotta go back and make sure I pull some of that in here too to really give you a representation of what I've listened to and what where I've been there, done that, right? So that brings me along to Alice in Chains. And I can't talk about Alice in Chains without talking about my high school best friend, James Gray. He was a bit of a loner, outcast. A lot of the kids in school called him Lames Gray. Ha. But we became pretty close friends. We were best friends for many years, and ended up having a bit of a falling out. This is James in his house with his guitar. This is James, my arm around his shoulder, broing out. He passed away not too long ago, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, this is the day of the bandshell show. The day my band played in St. Cloud on the highway, and James borrowed, well, I borrowed Adam's 7 Seconds shirt for this day, and apparently it was borrow somebody's shirt day because James borrowed my No Effects shirt and was wearing that, and that's really out of character for him because he wasn't a punk rocker. Looking back, I think I understand the riff now. It's political. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah. Anyway, that was the day of the bandshell show, and we ended up having a falling out, and I blocked it out of my mind for a long time, but looking through my memories one day, I realized that he tried to kill me one time. We were partying at his house that was out on a lake, and he had a boat, and we got up in the morning really hungover, I'm sure. This is me playing James' guitar. I can tell because it had these big clunky knobs sticking out of it right there. It wasn't mine. I'm wearing a, I think that's a Squeal Like a Pig Boy shirt. Scene from Deliverance on it. That's funny. So this is me with my mom's car I borrowed out in the Manor, they call it, in St. Cloud, the neighborhood that James used to live in. And we were hanging out. Here we are jamming a little bit. That was my first real electric guitar, that white Ibanez. I used to love that guitar. This one. But yeah, we got up in the morning after hanging out one day, one night, and we went out on the raft thing. He was driving the boat, and I was on the raft towing behind, and he slammed the ever-loving heck out of me into the dock and was like, oh. And I kind of like was in shock, obviously, and kind of messed up, banged up, but I didn't realize what had happened, and I don't think I pieced it together for a long time until I realized, like, he tried to kill me that day. He did. I've had an attempt on my life. That's probably the only one of those that's going to be on Songbook Stories, and we've only just begun. I mean, this is one wall of my vinyl collection, and we're only like up to here. We started here. We've made it through one cube, and I've got this whole wall, and this whole wall, and the whole massive wall of CDs behind the camera to get through. Anyway, here's some more hanging out on Mom's car out at James' house. And he dated our friend Kelly Buffington back in high school. Here's Kelly nestling on the Studley Lames Gray. Okay, I say all this to say I can't talk about Alice in Chains without talking about James, because that was our main connection, I think, even really. We just really both loved Alice in Chains and where they went with their acoustic stuff in particular, for sure. But we used to sit around and play a lot. We definitely would play Don't Follow and Rotten Apple. I'm not even sure of the names, but the one that goes like. That one we used to play a lot, and Don't Follow. Hey. Whoop, another scratch on this baby. Gives a character. Anyway, yeah, we used to sit around and listen to Alice in Chains quite a bit, James and I, and play it and learn all the songs and stuff, and it was definitely one of our many bands, but the big one. Like we were into, he was really into Soundgarden, and I was more into like the Temple of the Dog, Mad Season when it came out, and Pearl Jam, and Alice in Chains. So Sap was one that we both really dug a lot, but Jar of Flies was definitely the one. Oh yeah, I had one more I was supposed to do before I got into Alice in Chains. Alcatraz. It's old metal. But yeah, unfortunately never got to see Alice in Chains. So I don't have any other stories other than dorking out with James back in the day, and definitely listening to a whole lot of Alice in Chains. These are the newer ones with the new singer, but still excellent. Jerry Cantrell's an awesome guitar player. But I got quite a bit of Alice in Chains here. I'm gonna run through. This one's cool. The Get Born Again single. I think this is a promo. And then I got some Jerry Cantrell. This is his solo. Well, probably his first, I imagine. He might have done more, because these are quite old. And then the single for Cut You In. But he's a big part of Alice in Chains, and why they were able to find another singer and move on. Wow, I'm dropping this thing. Anyway, I got a couple other quick videos. This is a long one. I didn't mean to ramble on so much, but I definitely wanted to get my Adam Aha story in there, and my James Tried to Kill Me story. Look, I got this on like everything. This is OG from back in the day. This as well, I bought this at a place that used to be downtown Orlando with Adam one day, called Steve's Southern Music, I think it was. It was a record shop that was upstairs off of Orange Avenue, right in the middle of downtown Orlando. But I bought this for, I don't even know, probably 30 bucks, and I was like, wow, it's so expensive. But it's a double LP. It's got Jar of Flies on this side, and the other record is the Sap EP. And it has an etching. This is pretty cool. I'm trying to get it where you can actually see it. It's pretty neat. You don't want to drop your needle on this though. Ah, there we go. Now it's right. Pretty cool, huh? This is worth well, it would be worth a bit if I didn't wear it out. This record looks like most of my dad's old records. Like, it's been well loved. This one. I couldn't tell you how many times we would spin it back in the day trying to learn the songs and stuff. What else we got? Dirt on cassette. Sap on cassette. And the legendary first album, Facelift. Man in the Box still played on the radio quite frequently. That's pretty impressive for a band, or for an album that's going on 40 years old sometime here in the next couple years. Pretty crazy. They're still playing that stuff. Anyway, that's it for the Alice in Chains episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna be talking about a band called Alkaline Trio next. I love this band. I've seen them many times, so I'll have to come up with my best stories. All right, until next time, check out Alice in Chains. If you've never really put on an Alice in Chains record, I would say this one, Jar of Flies, would be the one to put on. And it's a different side of them, though. It's not what their albums really sound like. Is much heavier, sludgier, and distortion and everything like that. I got a couple more to run through here. I got the We Die Young. It did for a limited edition. I think that was a Record Store Day one. And this one's definitely a Record Store Day one, a repress of Sap. I still kept this sealed because I've got the original. And then I got Alice in Chains Dirt. Incredible album. I would listen to this one first and then listen to Dirt. Then you'll really have a feel for what they sound like. And last but not least, there's another band, another hip-hop group called the Alcoholics. We used to listen to them quite a bit back in the day. I was a DJ, 25 years ago or something. But I've always been a hip-hop and R&B kind of fan, more hip-hop than R&B for sure. But I've soaked up a lot of music, so that's why I'm here doing these videos, telling some stories to get you guys into some bands or groups that you might not have otherwise given a shot or heard of at all. Some of this stuff, the Alcoholics, Alcatraz, what? That's some old metal, the Alcatraz. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm pushing 20 minutes on this video, holy crap. Next time, Alkaline Trio. I'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.